Wolf Joe here, and I am back. At this time, this is going to be a full recap of what happened on. At this time, this is going to be a full recap of what happened on. There we go. I did not want to do that. Whoops, sorry. Hold on a minute. Where is? There we go. Anyways, oh, hold on a minute. Okay. I wanted to make a recap of the video that I recorded, but instead it gives me a corrupted video, so that's not like a recap, except I took the benefit of going to YouTube to go through each and every last video, last presentation, to recap each of the presentations that's announced. So let's kick things off with Halo Infinite. That's right, they are bringing back Halo, and you see, hold on a minute. Yep, Master Chief is back and coming back as Halo Infinite. We don't know. It's going to be a mobile game. It's going to be Xbox exclusive. I don't know. That's one of the most confusing announcements that we ever get. It's drawing off a lot of people, but it's still great. But the thing is, I'm not interested in any Halo games. I played it before. I didn't like it so much. But anyways, let's skip over to the next announcement. And that's why we gain Ori. That, if you don't know what Ori is kind of like a Metroidvania style that features a character that I don't know because I never played the Ori games, but I don't know any story. I don't know the protagonist. I don't know any kinds of the story. But I know what I do know is they have great visual art style and great color design and great area that's around the world. But I don't know anything about this game. I never played the first game. I don't know about this game either, so whoop-de-doos. And also there's a character that's in Rivals of Atheist, so that's the only character I know of. But from this game, I don't know, but it looks interesting. I never played it before, but whoop-de-doo. Anyways, let's get on to the next presentation, and that is, I forgot what's this game called, but it's played like combined between Neo, the game that I never played. Of course, it was on a PlayStation exclusive. I got an Xbox One, and it's also Dark Souls with the work of Activision. So it's kind of like a combination between Neo and Dark Souls in its Japanese samurai style of this world. I don't know much of it, but okay, here we go. Sekiro Tells Die Twice. Now we get the new gameplay mechanics. So hold up, you can see new enemy types, which kind of interesting because it takes in a Japanese culture. And we get, hold on, yep, that's right, we get grappling hooks, which kind of interesting because there was no grappling hook mechanic in any of the Souls series. So this might be the first game that features grappling style. Of course, here's the samurai boss, and this looks interesting. Interesting enough, it's so you get new types of enemies, a stronghold, and of course this new type of badass enemy. And this is where it gets interesting. Now you see here, where every Souls game you die once and go back to your checkpoint. But this game, this is interesting because in this concept, you get to resurrect yourself and you get to attack the enemy again. and continue on the fight. So the concept is, unlike every Souls game in the From Software games, you get to die, get to revive, and fight again. Unlike any other Souls games, you get to continue your fight. And that's kind of interesting because the concept is Shadows die twice, because that's the title. And what it means, if you die once, you can revive again. But there's no idea that it'll be a, how you say, a once per ability or once per fight. We don't know if it will be an exclusive to the boss, or it will affect any types of enemies but not the boss, or it has a specific demands that the ability uses. I don't know much, but this game looks interesting, so I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, let's get on to the next game. Bioshock blah. Fallout 76. This game takes place before the events of any Fallout game. I have never played the Fallout games in my life, but this game looks interesting enough. But considering enough, I never played both Fallout 1 and 2 before. I have no idea what is the story, but what I do know of, the city or the town was nuked, and everyone has to get in shelters to survive. I don't know any of the concept or what this story tells, but this game looks interesting enough, and you get to see everyone emerging from the vault and survive during the fallout. So I don't know what this game is about. So anyways, let's continue on with the next game. Is the next game is by the people who made Life is Strange. If you don't know what Life is Strange is a supernatural drama video game that you control a female character that you can reverse time to specific time and place and rewind it. So I don't know what this game is about, but it takes place in the same universe as the Life is Strange universe. And now, with this character, we don't know who that character is, but we don't know it has a supernatural element or not. But it's about a boy who has a mindset, but who imagines the events or imagines what was happening to him. But we don't know about much, but it looks interesting enough because it's by the people who made Life is Strange. And I do know a lot of things about Life is Strange before the storm, because I have never played that game before, but a lot of people say to avoid it at all costs. And what's interesting enough, by the way, the name is Captain Spirit, and then I'm lost on track here, but anyways, what's interesting enough, if you got this Xbox Season Pass, you get 100% free on June 26th, that's the release date, if you have the Xbox Game Pass. But here's the question: how would it benefit for Xbox One? I mean, Microsoft, because if it's free, how are they going to get the money for this game? But here's the other question: is this game a demo or full game? Because that is a questionable statement. But anyways, next we have the game Crackdown 3, which surprisingly enough is enjoyable trailer. And back in the when I recorded, I accidentally called him Shaq. Instead, it was Terry Crews. I seriously don't. I sincerely mistake myself for Terry Crews for Shaq, and that was a huge mistake on my part because I know who Terry Crews is. I don't. I barely see any commercials that start with Terry Crews instead, except the Axe commercials, Axe cologne commercials. But this trailer looks amazingly enough, and what's surprising is Terry Crews is the main character of the game, which is a lot of interesting enough because this is what's that game called? I played it before. I played like some Saints Row 3. This is what Saints Row should have been. Because I played Saints Row 2 and 3 before. I enjoyed the living hell out of it. And okay, hold on a minute before we get to. Hold on. And this is interesting enough. Hold on a minute. You got that? He has super strength because he has a mechanical suit, and you get a rubber ducky. Oh, cause that's Terry Crews' mascot, a rubber ducky, a rubber ducky grenade launcher. explodes to kill enemy. Okay, this is interesting and amazing enough. Game of the Year, which by the way comes out in February 2019, which is I am going to get. I never played a past Crackdown game, but this game is interesting. And also not just this game, but also Nier Automata. Nier Automata We Are Gods edition. What you don't know what Nier Automata is? It takes place in a sci-fi universe where all androids are controlled and there's no life in the earth. And here we go. Here's the release date. June 26, 2018, which is the definitive edition that has all DLCs in the game. And now, which by the way, I forgot to, I'm back on track. Nier Automata, oops, there we go. Right about, no, here. Well, the planet is nothing but machines. There's no life, and the last remaining people has traveled to outer space to live in a satellite, which I forgot the name called because I never played it in a long time because it's been months since that game was released. But this is interesting enough. Nier Automata, We Are Gods edition is an interesting take because, which is also awkward because the game was released not over a year ago, because this game is heavily criticized as one of the best games in 2017, which is surprisingly interesting because now it's the definitive edition with DLCs. But here's the question: will anyone want to get this because it has all DLCs? I think not, because this game is not over a year old and now it's releasing now. I think that's one huge mistake on their part, because although I do like Nier Automata, by all the Nier series, I think this is one of the best out of all of them. But here's the problem. This game is already has a current gen release date, and this game is already on a current gen. But why do we need a definitive edition to a game that we already got on a current console? That's a questionable remark. But anyways, enough blabbering. Let's get to the next game, Metro Exodus, which a game series I have never played before, but it is interesting enough to be a game. But in my opinion, I don't think I'm well invested in Metro because I have never played a single Metro game in my life. And separate to the game, I have never read the novel series simply because the novel series was released only in Russia. Because so if it so is that so beyond that, I have no history with the Metro series, including the novels. The only game I do know that's like this, or the not game takes an adaptation of a novel series, is the Tom Clancy series, or Tom Clancy. Oh, I forgot what's they called. I tried to remember the game. But anyways, it's the only game that I know is adapted from the novel. It's the Tom Clancy series. So beyond that, this game looks interesting, but I don't think I'm well invested in this game. Anyways, let's get on to the next game. And the next game is Kingdom Hearts. And we finally going to have gameplay and trailer. And that's right, Kingdom Hearts 3 will have both Tangled Universe and the Frozen Universe. If you don't know what Frozen is a huge selling point of Disney's movies. And of course, one of the most overwhelmingly positive movie that's, in my opinion, one of the most overrated movie by one of the most overrated song. if you want, if anyone, if you tell the kids, if you watch Frozen, you would tell them, and they would say, and they would sing, "Let go, let go," and how much you want to bet that song will be as a theme, world's theme, in this stage? And surprisingly enough, hold on a minute, we get to see the main character from Frozen, and we get to see the snowman Olaf, and also we get to see new enemies, and of course the enemy, the Golem, that's in the Frozen movie. Of course, we get to see the new ability that's in the same universe. So you get the ice ability, Blizzard Blaze. So I guess it's a fast moving attack. By bet it's going to have couple weak damage, but it has strong mobility and combos. So this might be interesting, and we get to see new enemies. We get to see the knights, or the samurais from the Mulan world, and we get to see new enemy, elk-like enemy, an elk-like Heartless, which is very interesting. That fits in the overworld world, Frozen world, and we get to see the wyverns on the Frozen universe, which is actually interesting, and we get to see a new move that's from Goofy's side, and we get to see Goofy surfing, and which is actually interesting. And get to see the big world of this game, and we get to see King's Flare, which is Simba's dad throwing off a spirit bomb to all the enemies. And of course, we also get to see the Monsters Inc. universe with a new ability, Splash Run, and we get to see Mike and Sully in the world, and we get to see I'm jumbling my words here before I do so. Oops. Here we go. Let me try again. And we get to see Wreck-It Ralph in the Toy Story universe. I think it's Toy Story universe. Hold on a minute. I don't know if it is. He has a Toy Story universe, which, by the way, I forgot to mention. And you get to have Ralph as a summon, which is actually interesting. And here is the Tangled universe, and which is, surprisingly enough, you get to platform on the Tangle universe in case you reach far away places that you can't reach. And here's the new stage for Monsters Inc., which is actually interesting, and we had the classic enemies, and that's right, Gummy Ships is coming back, which, in my opinion, ugh. In Kingdom Hearts 1, if you remember the gummy trials in in the games, the gummy ships was garbage, and it was grinding to get to places from places. And now in Kingdom Hearts 2, they Square Enix has listened to the comments about the gummy gameplay, and they have redefined the gummy ships aspect in Kingdom Hearts 2, which makes the gummy ships more fun and also less grindy. So making the gummy ships fixed in Kingdom Hearts 2 makes it better, and now we get to see the gameplay of the gummy returning to Kingdom Hearts 3, which is actually interesting because I liked how they fixed it in the Kingdom Hearts 2, where they listened to response of Kingdom Hearts 1's gummy aspects. I do like Kingdom Hearts 2 gummy aspects way better than the first one. Anyways, we get a little cutscene of Elsa talking with Sora.
You're on DPS.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
And then we get Hercules returning to Mount Olympus, which I forgot. And also I might mute this before I get ID content. And we get to see what's going on Mount Olympus, which I forgot what's the name. Anyways, we get to see a montage of the worlds, which is really cool. And I don't want to unmute it because I might get content ID. And we get to see we get to see Ansem and Xemnas, the main villains of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, returning to Kingdom Hearts 3. And last but not least, we get to see Maluxia to come back. I'm gonna say, I forgot. Oh my god, jumbling the words saying Maluxia. Trying to remember the girl's name. Now I'm oh my god. It's this is completely funny because now I'm playing the current Kingdom Hearts game, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, and playing with Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 2, and 358 over 2 days. Now we don't know what the main villains from Kingdom Hearts reach Chain of Memories. But anyways, what I want to say is, what is the name? Okay, let me see if I can remember the boss's name, or the organization 13 names. We have Vexen, Zeon, or Zexion. I forgot the name. I don't know. Either these two. Maluxia, the final boss of the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. Roxas, which is the 13th member, but he was out of the member. I completely forgot. Lexus. I have to go back and play Chain of Memory because that was a good game, but the gameplay kind of debunked on the game. And of course, you have a conversation between, forgot the name of the blonde girl, and Sora. And guess what? We have, last but not least, Aqua talking with, hold on a minute, talking with Mickey and also Riku for all things in the world that never exists. I forgot the name of the stage that's in the epilogue or the secret ending in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And then we got Aqua, but he's a twist. Aqua has turned to the dark side and became the nobodies of the Kingdom Hearts series, and we get the release date January 29, 2019, which is the official release date of Kingdom Hearts 3, which concludes the Xehanort arc, and which is exactly finally what we always wanted. And that, of course, we get Sea of Thieves, which of course we want to skip through, and then we also got Forza Horizon, which I jumbled the word. Anyways, skip through that. To be completely honest, I don't like the Forza games because I tried it once. I didn't like it. I like Need for Speed way better. And then we got, hold on a minute. Also, we got the, hold on a minute. If I can, there we go. We also get a presentation of the official release date and the official finished product of We Happy Few. What you don't know what We Happy Few is? We Happy Few is was giving to a demo for the people who bought it. It's like a 10 to 15 minute demo that's I need to remember about these games, because it was like over a year that this game was released. But what you don't know is We Happy Few was about a people who has eaten a type of drug that makes the worries go away and journeys them to a happy place. So that drug also has a side effect that it will hide you any truth on what is happening that you didn't take the drug. If you don't take the drug, you get to see what's happening in the real world. And now we get to see behind the scenes of the world.
Not until we take their joy. And when we do that, they'll murder each other in the street.
And that is We Happy Few. And it's an interesting game. Also, we have a release date, August 10, 2018, which is around the corner in the summer, well, the near end of the midway of the summer. But anyways, it's kind of interesting. But anyways, we have a launch exclusive, which is PUBG. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? More PUBG? And at this point, PUBG, H1Z1, and Fortnite, any types of genre, what is it called? Battle Royale, is becoming a genre on its own. And it's becoming one of the most popular genre ever, which I just don't get it. I just don't get the popularity of the genre is. I mean, yes, it's a full-on Battle Royale multiplayer, but to have a genre on its own and becoming one of the most popular genre, that I don't even know what you think of it anymore. But anyways, let's go on to the next game. And what's surprisingly enough, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is coming to Xbox One as a definitive high-def edition from the Xbox 360. Well, you don't know what Tales of Vesperia is. Tales of Vesperia is one of the most highly regarded, one of the best Tale games in the series that's released in Xbox 360. Like, it was like I don't know, 10 years ago? I gotta say, it was been 10 years that we last see Tales of Vesperia, and I love the Tales of series because I have played Tales of the Abyss, Tales of Xillia, Tales of Cesteria, and Tales of Vesperia, and last but not least, Tales of Fantasia, all in every console and every handheld game that's released. And now they're coming a definitive edition of Tales of Vesperia that we all wanted it as a backwards compatible game for the Xbox One. Of course, we never got any of that. We never got a backwards compatible of Tales of Vesperia until a definitive edition of Tales of Vesperia has been announced, and it's coming this year, which is, I will definitely buy this game on winter. And highly bet the game will come out on 2019 because it's been 10 years since Vesperia has released in the Xbox 360, and I am definitely going to buy Definitive Edition, which of course has all the DLC content and will have high def graphics, which is extremely interesting, and it will be amazing enough that I would go back Namco Bandai go back to their roots and decides to relaunch the game as a Xbox One title, which is amazing. And I will give 2 thumbs up to Namco Bandai for listening for where is the backwards compatible of Tales of Vesperia, and we didn't get any of that. Instead, we got a definitive edition of Tales of Vesperia, which is interesting. Anyways, let's get on to the next trailer, which is Division 2, which is, oh, why? Why do you decide to release the Division 2 or announce the Division 2? Because the Division 1 was a huge flop. Everybody hated the game. It was criticized as one of the most buggy and one of the most unfinished game ever. And it's also one of the most boring game ever. And I've been warned not to play the game, but I'm glad not to, because I would not be playing or buying the Division 2. Anyways, let's skip to that because I am not going to go to the gameplay because it's boring as hell. We don't want any of that. But anyways, let's see here when we get to the next. And the next couple of minutes, we get to see indie games that has been already released or releasing soon, which I'm not entirely interested. But the next game is announced is Shadows of the Tomb Raider, which is the last of the Tomb Raider trilogy, prequel trilogies in the Tomb Raider reboots, which is surprisingly interesting because I do in fact like the first Tomb Raider game that I did back in a couple of years ago, which is Tomb Raider the Definitive Edition that's released in, I think, 2016, 2015. I try to remember what year that the Xbox One version that was released, the Definitive Edition. But anyways, I've heard it got mixed receptions on the sequel. I forgot the name of the title, but I heard to avoid it at all costs because it was one of the most boring Tomb Raider games that's ever to exist, or the Tomb Raider prequels. But with this Tomb Raider, I don't know what would be the benefit for this series, because the first one was good, the second one was boring, but we don't know any details about this one, the third and final installment, which is now have mixed bags with the Tomb Raider games, because now I don't know that it will be the better second game, better sequel, or the toned down and backwards version of the first game, because I don't know how it will go on Square Enix side, because I don't know what else to say, because now that the Tomb Raider series is falling out, we don't know what will happen to the Tomb Raider series after this ends. And this is a huge gapping point, that the tomb after this ends, where has to go? Anyways, after that ends, we get to see a new game that is called Session, a skateboarding game that has been announced, which I heard it was a couple years ago it was announced, but I don't remember. I heard a couple of people saying about this game, but I don't exactly remember on the top of my head, because I have never played a skateboarding game except the Tony Hawk games, which is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 or 3. I'm trying to remember what was that title, but I don't know. I don't know any these skateboarding games because I never played any of them. So, anyways, let's get on to the next game, and that is I don't know about this game, and that, let me see here if I can call it out. What was it called? No, not this game. I trying to remember what was it called. Black Desert. Yeah, Black Desert, which is, I have never heard about this game, but what I've heard, it got mixed reception because this game was released, heard of years ago, because I have no idea. It was over my head, but this game looks kind of interesting, but at the same time, I got mixed receptions because I don't know anything about this game in particular. But anyways, this game kind of looks interesting. It's a Fable-esque like game, but I've heard a lot of people to either play it is fun or avoid it because it's not fun. And that throws me off a little because I don't know anything about this game. And I heard so little. But anyways, let's get on to the next game. And what that is, hold on a minute, if I can get to the, oops, there we go. Right about here, I think. Yeah. And guess what? The first couple seconds is extremely interesting, which is because you know why? It's Devil freaking May Cry 5. They have come back, to their roots and say, you know what? Give it Devil May Cry 5. Because that's what we all wanted. Because that's what we wanted. We wanted a true sequel to the Devil May Cry series after 4. Because we want to know what happened to Dante after the events of Devil May Cry 4. We want to know the events. We want to know the adventures of Devil May Cry 4. Which is, that's what we wanted. Instead of giving us what we, because last year, like 2013, we got a garbage reboot, which is DMC Devil May Cry, which is a reboot of Devil May Cry, which it was criticized as second worst Devil May Cry game to release, because as you know, Devil May Cry 4 is considered one of the worst Devil May Cry game to ever release. But now we got Devil May Cry 5, which is like the DMC is taking place in a modern world, which we don't know what's the location, but still, this is we get to see a main character, which is, you guessed it, Nero. Nero is coming back to Devil May Cry 4, which is confusingly enough, which I can agree. They also consider Nero as one of the most annoying characters in the game, which is surprising enough I can agree with to most people, because I think Nero is one of the most annoying character in the game, which is secondly, I'm surprised they changed Nero's design in Devil May Cry 5, because if you remember, Nero has hair that's exactly like Dante's, except here's a giveaway, a little spoiler who never plays Devil May Cry 4. Nero is Virgil's son. That's right. In the events of Devil May Cry 4, you'll be Virgil's son, which is the heir of the let me see again. The heir of the Sparta bloodline, because both Dante and Virgil belongs to the airline, belongs in the bloodline of the Sparta, the man named Sparta, who sealed the demons long ago before he sealed himself in the other world, protecting his two sons, Dante and Virgil. Now, a couple of years later, demons have surfaced by the main villain Mundus and want to take over the world, and then we get to see the event of Devil May Cry. And what's surprisingly enough, hold on a minute, we get to see the game character, which is surprising enough, this looks interesting enough. Because, hold on a minute. Let me see this again. We get to see.
Oh, nice. Wow.
You see, he looks nothing like Nero, because if you remember, if you play Devil May Cry 4, you know what Nero looks like. And we get to see a new character that is a mixture between Trish from Devil May Cry 1 and Lady from Devil May Cry 3. If you don't know who they are Dante's assistants in Devil May Cry, in the events of Devil May Cry. Now we get to see Nero's assistant, which is the Trish of the game, and we get to see anyway, gets nice trick over there.
Cheer up, crew cut. You taking notes?
And here's an interesting part. Hold on a minute. If you play Devil May Cry 4, you will know what happened in Devil May Cry 4. Hold on a minute. And what's surprising enough, they decide to loop the video for odd reason. If you remember, if you know who is the Nero, if you remember, Nero has a demonic arm in his right arm, because for some reason his normal arm transformed to a demon, which gave him supernatural abilities to grab onto things that you can't reach, or give him a special throwing ability that allows you to throw enemies. And now we get to see having a mechanical arm instead of his regular arm, and which, interesting enough, you get to see him having a grappling hook and and a rocket launcher, which is surprisingly interesting enough because Nero never has a projectile in Devil May Cry 4, which is interesting. And now we have this interesting ability that has never in the Devil May Cry game, that you can slow down enemies, which is surprisingly interesting.
What? No chit chat or monologue? Just getting right to the point, huh?
And hold on. You see there? You see there? That's a glimpse of his arm. That's the ability of his old arm, because that's what he do in his old arm. Because that's the effect of the demonic arm, or the arm of Sparta that he had. Okay, now that's badass. He rides the rocket. Okay, that's really cool, in my opinion. Tentacles. Why it has to be tentacles?
I've got a score to settle with that son of a
Nice.
Damn. Now we know what happened to the arm that Nero got. Because hold on a minute, if I can pause somewhere in the time plate. Hold on a minute. No, this is after this. No, after this. Son of a bitch. After this. Okay, there we go. That's his demonic arm that he had in Devil May Cry 4. Which is pertinent, and that it has an important part in Devil May Cry 4. Because it has things that you normally don't have on Dante's side, which you could play on Devil May Cry 4. And then we got a mysterious robed character that we don't see in Devil May Cry.
I've got a score to settle with that son of a
Nice. Excited to go back to the second. Oh, I really like.
And which reminds me, everyone's actually, where is Dante? Because this is Devil May Cry. Well, here he is.
I missed the last few Devil May Cry games. They look totally different
Devil
than I
May-
remember.
But we all know that we get to play both Nero and Dante. But it's surprisingly enough a enjoyable game, and it's released. Hold on a minute, if I can see the release date. God damn it! Hold on a minute. Is there a release date? Hold on a minute. Here we go. Spring 2019. And, surprisingly enough, I will buy this game. And it will be enjoyable as hell. Anyways, let's get to the next game, which is Cuphead. With a DLC. Cuphead in the Delicious Last Encore, which you get a third character, which is Miss Chalice, which has a new stage and new playable character. If you don't know who Miss Chalice is the character who is in the Chalice that's in the side mission, and we get to see a new character, Chef Saltbaker, which is a new character. So that means we're going to have a new story and new stage that's coming in 2019, which is interesting because I liked Cuphead. It's one of the most amazing side-scrolling 2D game I've ever played in years. It's one of the best I've ever played, and deserves a DLC, a spot-on buy on the DLC. So I'd like to play it. Anyways, we get a new game called Tunic, which is a Legend of Zelda or classic Legend of Zelda style that's in top-down hack and slash RPG game, which I forgot what was called in the old classic game. I think it's action adventure hack and slash or just action adventure. I've never played the classic Legend of Zelda game in a long time. Oh my gosh, I should go back to it because this game looks indeed amazing because it plays like the classic Legend of Zelda games, not the 3D Zelda games, but the 2D Zelda games. The top-down Zelda games that's been on the NES and Super NES, such as The Link to the Past and the Link in Between Worlds, which is surprisingly interesting. And we get to see the first boss or the boss that's in the middle. Anyway, and we get to fight it. Anyways, this game looks interesting. I will buy it. And surprisingly, Microsoft is becoming its most successful press conference. Anyways, let's get on to the next game. And that is, here we go. And surprisingly enough, here is the next game, which features Naruto, Luffy from Bleach, and Goku from Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, if you may call it. But it combines all Shonen Jump and transport them in a modern world, which is surprisingly enough one of the most interesting premise I have ever heard. Taking all the characters from Shonen Jump, like Luffy, Goku, Naruto, and last but not least, Frieza and Light Yagami from Death Note. That's right, I'm botching the name. Light Yagami will be in this game with his Shinigami in this game, which is surprisingly enough enjoyable trailer, and I might actually buy it. But we don't know the release date yet, and here it is. Light Yagami and his Shinigami, and it's coming out in 2019. And that's one of the most enjoyable trailer I've ever seen. Now let's see here. Let's see here. We got the Frieza ship from the Frieza arc. And we got hold on a minute. We got the statues of the, hold on a minute. Come on now. Here we go. Let's check on the diagnostics. Here we have the Shinobi statues, the first and the second Shinobi from the Naruto series, and then we get to see the Straw Hats ship, which is commanded by Luffy, and then last but not least, we got the Frieza ship from Dragon Ball. So this also this is taking place in the modern world, which is we don't get to see often. We get to see an isekai-like game that's taking characters from their fantasy world to the modern world. If you guys watch the anime Recreators, that's basically the premise of this game. And I do enjoy the Recreators anime. And while I don't know why the game is, I don't know what the trailer is showing us the double lag video. But anyways, what I'm guessing here, this is taking place in New York because we get to see Times Square out of all places and get to be destructed by Frieza. And we don't know if Frieza is going to have golden form just like in Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Battle of Gods. Battle of Gods Resurrection of F. But we get to see Goku in his Super Saiyan form. and fight against Frieza in New York or in Times Square. And you get to see the Nine Tails in Times Square. It's silly but also fun. And that is the highlight of the Jump Force. And I one wish, hold on a minute, if this involves Shonen Jump, I want to wish, and here's what I want to see. I want to wish Saitama in this game. Saitama, Jotaro, and who am I missing? Shit. Anyways, I want to see Saitama one punch everyone he meets. And if he goes, I just hit the enemy and go, one punch! I can't do the one punch scream right because my voice is hasty now. Anyways, the next game that we get to see is Dying Light 2, which is a sequel of Dying Light. Which has to say, why it has to be Dying Light? What you don't know is Dying Light is a survival horror zombie game that I barely know because I'm sorry, I skipped Dying Light because some people told me to avoid it while some others told me to play it because it's fun. But when I saw the gameplay, I fell to sleep. Like literally because I don't give a crap anymore. But anyways, let's skip to that. The next game, which is surprisingly got us woken up and got out of our seats and rip our search. I'm kidding. It's Battletoads reboot. That's right. They are bringing back Battletoads, which is whoa. I haven't seen them in a long time because I played Battletoads since I was a kid and it was fun. It was hard but also fun. But anyways, they have revived Battletoads as a reboot where has come back with 4K hand-drawn 2D. Whoa, hand-drawn 2D. Okay, let's think about this. Hand-drawn 2D Battletoads game. I can't explain enough how much I love this game. A 2D Battletoad experience. I will play the living hell out of this game no matter how hard it is. Plus, bro, non-specific feature declarations. Oh man. We returned in 2019, by the way, which is interesting and surprisingly what we wanted it, because instead of giving us a sequel, we got a reboot, a return to a good old classic one-of-a-kind franchise in the series. And I'd like to re-experience that experience again. And I like to play a lot of it because that game was fun. Anyways, next we have Just Cause 4, which is it's Just Cause. What do you expect? Because I played Just Cause 2. I liked it. Only the demo. I gotta admit, I played the demo. I never played the full game. I played Just Cause 2. I had fun with it. But Just Cause 3 is more like the same thing, only I felt bored of it. Like, I grew tired of Just Cause. And then decided not to play 3 because 2 was fun by its own. 3 was just more the same thing. Anyways, let's go on to the next game, which is Gears Pop. Yes, you heard me right. Gears Pop, which is a video game version of the popular figure series Funko, which is a company that takes pop cultures of video games, cartoons, anime, and every pop culture that's been out like decades, and now a Funko game that's based on Gears of War is kind of interesting, but at the same time, I have mixed bags about it because I played the past Gears of War game. It was fun. Well, except Judgment, because it's one of the most boring game I've ever played. But this time, Gears Pop will coming to a mobile game, which is kind of interesting. But what's the take? Will it be third-person shooter? Will it be a strategy game? I don't know. But anyways, they have also announced another game, which is Gears. Hold on a minute. Oh my god, my voice. Which is let's see here. I'm trying to Gear Tactics. Okay, here we go. Gear Tactics. I'm not good at remembering. Anyways, we have a new mobile game called Gears Tactics, which is a XCOM-esque gameplay that's also a mobile game, which is, I like XCOM and I also like Gears of War. So Gear Tactics is my cup of tea because I like both tactical games and strategy tactical games and XCOM-esque gameplay. So this would be my cup of tea. And also, which reminds me, which no one ever take a glimpse of it. You do notice a title change, because when you talk about Gears of War, you say Gears of War, and you say GOW. That's probably why they decided a title change, because there's two titles with the same name, Gears of War and God of War, because they both have GOW. And now they take on of Gears. And now Microsoft has decided to take away of War part in Gears of War. It just put just Gears. That's it. And that's an interesting title change. And I think they have a good reason why. I know it's a good reason why, and it makes sense. If you put two GOWs together in two different games, you know why. But anyways, now they have announced Gears of War 5, which is surprisingly enough a well benefit game. And now we get to see someone die, which I have to guess her mother, because you remember, and that's right. This became a key item in Gears of War 4. We don't know what it is. That's until we get the idea of what is going on with her. It sounds like that she's being corrupted by the Locust, because if you remember, her mother became a Locust, and now because of that, we don't know what's going on with her now. Now she's acting like a double agent or becoming rogue. And now we get to see a new area, and we get to see a bit of a gameplay, which is kind of interesting, and a new enemy, which is really silly but also interesting. And I don't know why we get the horror aspect of. I don't know, they got the horror aspect of Gears of War, but anyways. And that's pretty much it for Gears of War or Gears 5. We don't know what's going on with her, but we do know that what I think of her mind is being corrupted by the locusts or something like that. But anyways, it's an interesting trailer, which pretty much it with the presentation. Also, we got one more trailer to see, and which is let's see here, which I can find a name because I'm terrible at remembering. Cyberpunk 2077, which is taking place in a sci-fi futuristic world of, we don't know which city, but still, this looks interesting. But in my opinion, here's my honest opinion, I just don't like sci-fi in general because I don't know what else to say, because sci-fi is not my cup of tea, not my taste. But I do pretty much get the gist why people like sci-fi. But I don't think sci-fi is my cup of tea, in my opinion. But this is a really good trailer. But anyways, that's pretty much it for Xbox presentation press conference in 2018 of E3. And that's pretty much it. I hope you do like my little recap of E3's 2018 Microsoft press conference. In my opinion, there's pretty much a lot that I do like and a lot I don't like. I do like is Devil May Cry 5, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, Nier Automata, We Are Gods Edition, Tunic, We Happy Few, and a couple others that's in this trailer. And now, for my final verdict, I give this trailer a 7 out of 10. A lot of good stuff in my mind. Has great presentation, great trailers to release. Kingdom Hearts finally has a release date, and a lot of good trailers. The downside is there's a lot of trailers that of a game that's already announced that we don't want to see. I don't want to see any more PUBG. I don't want to see the Sea of Thieves. I just don't want that. I just don't want to see games that's already released, even DLCs or expansion packs, because we already got a game that is crap. Because those games are crap. CODs, crap. PUBG, crap. Because those two games are nowhere fun. And also, why do we want the Division 2? The Division 1 already flopped. We oh my god, my voice is getting hurt now. The Division 1 flopped. No one liked the game. Everyone avoided. And also, Dying Light 2. Why? Why do we get Dying Light 2? That doesn't make any sense. The game has little sales, but didn't surpass what they wanted because they didn't reach the overall point, the overall sell point of what they wanted. And my voice is getting hurt now, but I think it's a good time for a break because the upcoming is the Vesperia press conference. I don't know if I can do that press conference because my voice is getting hoarse now. But anyways, that is E3's Microsoft 2018 press conference. And you know what? No, I give this conference is 7.5 out of 10 because of Terry Crews as the protagonist of Crackdown 3. Anyways, that is it for Microsoft press conference. Do you enjoy what games do they release? Comment down below, or what do you comment down below on what do you like to see in the Microsoft press conference, and what are you waiting for, or what game do you hope to come out soon? Let me know in the comments below, and see you all later. This is Han with Joey. May the Wolf be with you.